Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the fifth and final installment of the Launchpad Insight Seminar Program for 2021. My name is Jahin Tanvir, the Launchpad Coordinator at EduGrowth. For those that are new to EduGrowth, we are Australia's education technology and innovation industry hub. Through connection and collaboration, we accelerate Australia's EdTech ecosystem globally. EduGrowth exists today because of the vision and leadership shown by our 6 founding partners who saw the opportunity that exists in Australia to be a global leader in education technology. We thank these organizations, together with our strategic partners, who support us in our mission to impact global communities with Australian EdTech. I would like to especially thank our partners for today's event, AWS EdStart and AWS. Without their support, programs like today are not possible. Before we proceed with today's program, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land. As we gather physically dispersed but virtually connected, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of Australia and recognize their continuous and unbroken connection to the land, waters, and culture across the country. Today, I join you from the unceded land of the Dharawal people in southwest Sydney, and I extend my respects to elders past, present, and emerging in all of Australia, including where you are joining us from. I especially welcome and extend my respects to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people present with us today. As I mentioned up front, EduGrowth exists because of our partners who work with us to bring these programs to life. Mo Ziadin from AWS is just one of those partners. Mo will join us to provide an insight to the work that AWS and AWS EdStart team do to support the Australian EdTech ecosystem. Hi Mo, how are you? I don't think we can hear you correctly. You might be on mute.
Oops, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, good.
Happens. So thanks, Yahin. Thanks for the introduction. So good afternoon to all. So I'm not too sure. No, it's Australia only, right? Yeah. So good afternoon to all. So as Jahin said, I am Mo. I am the EdTech lead here at AWS. I work with EdTechs nationally throughout Australia. So, AWS being a market leader, we would like to work with the entire edtech community, provide the edtech ecosystem, the resources and tools that are available to build your solution to make sure that we work with you in partnership with your success journey. So hence we partner with companies like EduGrowth, so that we can scale out to the maximum large audience nationally. So without partners like EduGrowth, we will struggle to scale out, to take our message out. So as I said, AWS being the market leader in the tech hosting space, we have so many programs and tools that are available where we can work with you. We have AWS partnership APN portal where you can register yourself as a partner and we can work on go-to-market strategies, joint opportunity acceleration, joint marketing, and joint community events we can do along with webinars. Uh, there will be funding also available whenever the funding is needed to accelerate and provide, some benefits to the customers who might sign up for your platform for the first time. And also in partnership, our AWS education sellers will co-sell with your sales team. So there are different approaches that we are using to accelerate the edtech industry and work together in collaboration. So that's why I thought, I will take few minutes from this session to tell what kind of work we can do. So you are always welcome to reach out to me if you have any plans or any things to discuss. My contact details will be provided. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mo, for that valuable insight into AWS. And as was mentioned, Mo's contact details will be provided into the chat function on your right. So moving on, today we are focusing on the voice of the customer. Our session today will be a little different from what we have seen in the last few Launchpad sessions. We'll be starting off by having 3 K-12 presentations and 3 higher ed focused presentations that will be presented to our panel of educators. Once the presentations have been completed, the panel will then provide feedback to each presentation from an educator's point of view, and how the product can be changed or improved for the customer. We'll be starting with the K-12 presentations first and then moving on to the higher education. Before we do get started, a quick reminder from us. You can help us map the Australian education technology and innovation ecosystem. This Australian EdTech market census, as you can see on screen, is an integral part of mapping the current ecosystem and ensuring that we can advocate for the entire sector over the coming years. We update the survey annually, and with each new survey, intend to deep dive into the specific area of detailed analysis. This year, we want to explore in detail what you've seen as an impact from COVID-19. The survey will only take 10 minutes to complete, and all the information you provide will be kept confidential and anonymous. The survey closes on the 20th of December 2021 and will release a report in April 2022. All respondents to the survey will be given access to the report. So now let's get started with the program and the K-12 section of today's event. I'd like to welcome our educators for K-12. We've got Leon Furs and Tom Biddle. Welcome, Leon and Tom.
Hi, Jane.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure. I would love if you guys could just introduce yourself and allow the participants to know a bit more about your role and where you're involved. So if we can maybe start with Tom.
Hi, well, I'm Tom Biddle. I'm from Central Coast Grammar School in New South Wales, Central Coast. Currently working year 10 to 12. It's a private high school, so less special needs than a mainstream or DET school, yet branching out in the future into different aspects of it. So thank you.
And I'm Leon Furs. I'm Director of Learning and Teaching at Monterey College. So we're out in the Western District of Victoria, regional Victoria. And we're a small Catholic school, about 500 students. And so we're always looking for technology solutions that can connect us with the real world, as we're about 4 hours away from Melbourne.
Thank you so much, Leon and Tom. And for all the participants, you can connect and participate and speak to our educators in the breakout sessions afterwards. So without any further ado, let's start with the presentations. The first presentation we have for K-12 is from Pablo Farias, who will be talking about his company, Zenva. Hi, Pablo, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. And I can see your presentation is on screen, so the floor is yours. 3 minutes.
All right, well, hi everyone. Thanks for being here today. My name is Pablo. I'm the founder of a company named Zenva. Let's start by introducing Linda, a high school digital technologies teacher who's very passionate about her work. For that reason, she's shared with us some of her main concerns with teaching the subject. There's complexity for students and teachers, curriculum requirements, existing resources being dry, lacking in projects, in real-world applications, which makes it difficult to keep students engaged. It is also very time-consuming for her to prepare all of the material, the code, and she finds it hard to support students with different skill levels within the classroom. Our solution, Zenva Schools, is designed to help high school teachers deliver modern, engaging, and industry-aligned coding courses that are mapped to the Australian curriculum. Our courses are created by industry practitioners, reviewed by teachers, and they all include projects and tools that are used in the industry. Some of the content includes Python, web development, Unity, and SQL. Courses include on-demand video, as well as written versions of every video, downloadable project files, and exercises that can run on the browser. The platform's made to be easy to use. It's easy for teachers to keep track of what each student is doing and manage the classrooms. We've just completed our first pilot, which was a huge success with the year 9. Amazing feedback there, and we are starting with 12 schools next year. We're also working with the Australian Computer Society to support their Gateway to Industry Schools program. I want to emphasize that we are really looking forward to work with as many schools as possible, then that any school that is interested would get a whole term of the service for free if they want to try it out. While our school product is very new, we've been around since 2015 with our main product for adults. for adult learners. Over 1 million learners have used our courses to gain skills. And that's we've done that by partnering up with leading organizations. And we bring that all back into the course and the content that we create to give our learners more value. Thank you for watching. I'm really looking forward to connecting further, to hearing your feedback. So looking forward to that. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Pablo, for that presentation. Now for our second presentation for K-12, we have David Gregory from Excursion. Hi, David, how are you?
Going very well, thank you. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing fantastic. I can see your presentation on screen. 3 minutes on the clock. The floor is yours.
Excellent. Hi, everyone. I'm David, founder of Excursion. It's a mobile app to help teachers when they're out on school excursions. Now, how did this all come about? Well, it started a few years ago, and I had a group of Year 9 boys down for a science field day at Jervis Bay in New South Wales. Now, what could possibly go wrong on a science day out? So it was a field trip, and we'd planned a swim afterwards into our overall plan and our risk management plan. And myself and one of my colleagues were supervising the swim on the beach, and one of the boys comes up to me and he says, "Sir, James has scratched himself a bit." Anyway, James had scratched himself was one of the greatest understatements I've ever come across. James had actually taken a dive in a bed of oysters. So I quickly got out my first aid kit, got my gloves on, and patched him up as fast as I could, putting all the absorbent pads on him, then threw him in the car, grabbed 2 other students, and off we headed to the Shoalhaven Hospital. And so I'm sitting in the waiting room and I'm thinking of, oh, I've got to write an incident report. I've got to call his parents. I've got to get the referral from the doctor. I have to get all the discharge notes. If only I had a mobile app to do this. And so that was where I came up with the idea for the Excursion mobile app. Now, the Excursion mobile app is a suite of operational tools which has all of the students' medical details, their emergency contact details, and you can conduct first aid reporting, you can do concussion testing, and it has swimming abilities and all those important details that teachers need to know when they're out on school excursions with a group of students. Some of the key benefits of this are it improves the attention to student wellbeing and improves safety. It's got proactive risk management systems and processes built into it. So it also increases protection for staff and the school. So it creates an audit trail of all of the care that's given and triggers reminders. So for example, if a medication's due, it buzzes the teacher's phone and then checks right medication, right student, and you have that administration record. Also helps avoid those lengthy incidents. And so having been through a number of incident investigations myself and reviewed all sorts of things, it helps avoid those. But you've got, we did this, this, and this, and we provided the best care possible. It is integrated with a number of school systems, and my founder and I, we have worked in education for many, many years, and we both plan and prepare for all of these sorts of things within the app, but we also offer online training as well to support that. So thank you for the opportunity to chat and look forward to connecting with people later.
Thank you so much for that, David. Now moving on to our third presentation for K-12, I'd like to introduce Brianna Landwehr from WorkWindow. Hi, Brianna, how are you?
Thank you.
Fantastic. I think we're just waiting for your presentation to come up on screen, and then we can start your presentation.
All right, ready?
Yep. 3 minutes on the clock. Floor is yours.
Fantastic. So my name is Brianna from WorkWindow. We are the first Australian-made VR career exploration app available in the Oculus Quest 2. We help improve career information and advice using virtual reality. Initiated in 2018 by founder Cam Martin, who was frustrated by his own difficulty sourcing work experience as an engineer student. He thought something can be done. He found time-poor businesses and network-poor students were experiencing inequity and disadvantage in one of the most important decisions of your life, your career path. So he started Work Window, a fully immersive VR careers experience that lets you job shadow, understand roles, and experience different tasks required of a work environment, and even interview the person you're learning about. Why VR compared to standard 2D and video models? We found 93% of students could better understand and comprehend what a job was about. 91% found Work Window was more engaging than traditional models. 86% of students felt more confident in organizing their own physical job shadowing or work experience afterwards. And 88% it was easier to focus in the experience. There's over 22 jobs available in the app, with a total of 60 to be developed in partnership with Australian business and industry by the end of 2023, but thanks to the National Career Grant, which is supporting us. But let's have a look and see what it's about. Find out more, you could schedule a demo today.
Thank you so much for that, Brianna, and thank you to all our presentations for those fantastic presentations, but also for sticking to time. Now, I would like to bring back the educators for their comments and questions for all the presentations. I would also like to mention that we have a live chat bar on the right side of your screen. It's always great to make these sessions as interactive as possible. So I encourage you as participants to share any of your immediate thoughts or questions, and I will try my best to include them into the conversation. However, we'll also have time at the end for questions. So passing the floor to Leon and Tom for comments on the presentations.
Tom, you go first.
So for Zenva, for Pablo, thank you. This looks like a fantastic platform there to be able to reach out for the text. I was just really engaging. I love that it's modern with the industry and aligned with the curriculum. A big part there is teachers find, especially implementing new platforms, it's a time base to try and train themselves. Just wondering if there's opportunities for the programs and the lesson plans to be run through with those educators to align with access for different learners that they may have in their classroom.
Looks like we've lost Pablo.
Yeah, I think we might have lost Pablo.
Yeah, I think he's dropped out. Sorry about that.
No worries. All right, should I go to David?
Yeah, we can move on to David.
Hi, David. Look, what an awesome app. And as you know, I think every teacher needs this sort of platform because you can see less and less excursions going out at the moment. You know, in the current world that we're in, even at my school, I can see they're few and far between. So Does it align with the online intranet? Is it easily accessible for teachers? And is there an opportunity for new users that may come along 6 months into the school signing up, for example?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work off a per student. So we work off an average enrolment base as a business model. But we also we provide an online training course. So if someone comes in mid-year, they can just go through, and it's about a 45-minute PD course where they can just step through and get up to speed with that. So it's been sad that we haven't been seeing a lot of excursions going out at the moment, but hopefully that's a big bounce back in next year.
Excellent. That sounds good.
Thanks so much, Tom. And it looks like Pablo's also back. So if you could kindly repeat your question for him, we can definitely get that discussion rolling as well.
Okay. So Pablo, I was just saying it's excellent. That's aligned with the curriculum. And I was just wondering, in terms of implementing a new program in schools, teachers really appreciate if it's quite easily accessible for each of their students. So when it comes to programming and lesson base, is there opportunity to show, well, for the differentiated classroom, how a teacher may be able to use that platform for the range of users they may have?
Thanks for your question. And sorry, I was in the other balloon platform, but I'm back here now. So a couple of things there in terms of accessibility. The platform can be accessed online, so it is suitable for either remote or in-class environment. Now, regarding the teachers' implementation, at the moment we are providing a bit of onboarding when they sign up. So we'll speak to the teachers, learn about what their particular goals are, and then we can recommend which one of the courses to go with. The platform itself is made to be very versatile. So far we've seen teachers using it in very different ways. Some teachers have the whole class watching it like in a projector. Other teachers have each student doing it individually. And we have also seen a blend of the two, where they start together, but then they let some students kind of go much further ahead. And we have that depth, so the more advanced students can just keep going. And for the students that need additional support, that's something that's come up out of that first pilot, is that we need to have some more content that's that reinforces some of the more basic things. So we're working on adding those as well. So I think over time we'll have more and more insights for the teacher. But at the moment, we're also just learning how teachers want to use it. It's a tool, so it can be used in many different ways.
Excellent. Thank you.
Fantastic. Leon, did you want to ask some questions or comments, especially maybe for Brianna?
I'll start with the question for Brianna. So I think part of my role is organising across the whole school the students' pathways, and our careers program is a really important part of that. So I like to see anything which is geared around making the careers and pathways programs better for students, particularly where we are 4 hours outside of Melbourne. So that's great. I'm wondering about accessibility and pricing to schools. So can you talk me through exactly how you get this into schools, what kind of technology the schools need, whether you provide any of that technology?
Yep, so the platform runs on the Oculus Quest 2 VR headset. That was just released this last year and retails for $479 per headset. So that's as cheap as a tablet that you would find in your Harvey Norman store nowadays. We have roughly 3 to 4 different subscription models, depending on the size of the school, that reaches the number of users and students that they have to reach, with a ratio depending on the number of headsets. So it starts from anywhere from $11.49 a year for a school to subscribe to the platform. Gives them access to every single career that we have, as well as anyone that's getting uploaded and included as we develop and as we expand. And it lets them reach, especially as you would have an experience, jobs that they wouldn't have in an area potentially where they're located. So in terms of city to country and country to Sydney engagement, the cost of a bus to get to those locations, risk assessments to get to those locations, what we offer allows scalability and equity once you're able to get into the and look at the equipment purchase, which is usually the biggest hesitation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think Tom and I are probably on the same wavelength with some of his questions for Pablo and David. One of my questions was around teacher onboarding. So Pablo, you've already answered that one. David, can you speak a little bit more to the kinds of integrations that you have? I know that we have an LMS here that already has all of that, the data on students' medical alerts and the risk management and everything sort of already handled on that one platform, and there is a mobile version of that. So what's the point of difference with Excursion? What does the Excursion add to our existing LMS?
So what it does, it extends the functionality into, it makes that medical data dynamic. And so it's the dynamic reminders, and we started a lot with medications, and the number of medications that I've seen increasing dramatically, which teachers are responsible for, and recording that information is absolutely critical. When was it administered, and was it administered correctly? So it provides those push reminders to say, okay, it's time, 5 minutes until this is due, go and do, and then you go and find the student, write medication and administer, and you have a track of that. With the incident reports, it's similar as well. So when you do, say, a first aid report, you've got these reminder checkups. And so they're all dynamic. So if you've got kids away for a few days, you might have the checkup to say, okay, well, I need to check on Sarah in an hour. So you go and check on Sarah in an hour, and you can write follow-up notes. Then you can set another reminder, or if you provide any pain relief, if they're allowed to, it actually tells you whether parents have given permission for pain relief. And then you also have that that tracking. So say if it wears off after 4 hours, it'll buzz you again to say, hey, pain relief's pain relief has expired. Go and see how they are. So it's that dynamic use of that data, and it's that dynamic risk management that's built into it that really differentiates the Excursion platform from anything else.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And I would love to keep this conversation going and actually bring a lot of the audience members and participants into the conversation. So what we're going to do now is, this is our time as audience members and participants to meet with the educators. So on the left side of your screen, there is a participate button. If you click on that, you get to go into rooms with our educators and have conversations, ask questions and make comments. And you'll also see the companies that have pitched and presented their organizations, and you can also conversate with them. And then we'll be meeting back here on the main stage to hear from the second part of this event, which will be the higher education educators and companies at 4:15. So until 4:15, we'll be in the participate rooms speaking to the educators, and at 4:15 sharp, we'll be coming back to the main stage and resuming the event with our higher ed education. So till then, have some fantastic conversations, and we'll see you back here at 4:15.